Okay, this is the final assembly, the full button maker, and this one is fairly simple. Again, it's just a number of inserts in the right spot, and we're going to start with putting the base plate and the lower assembly together. And so we're going to use the insert command as we have previously on most of our stuff. And we work from the bottom here, this bottom hole on the lower die, and line it up with the bottom of the shaft on the base plate. Make sure we got our orientation right, and okay. I'm going to just check this. This should move so it's sliding around like that. That works like the button maker does. That's great. We're not going to worry about constraining it so it doesn't go through things today. We're just going to set it up like that. All right, next bit is the upper die, and it's going to go on here. Now this one, we want to make sure that we do the right bits in the right spot, because we want to make sure that this hits there on both of these, and if we don't get exactly the right spot, it could not line up right and the second hole won't work. So I'm going to zoom in, make sure I'm going to get the outer part here, not inside there. I don't want any of the inside bits. And then make sure I get the very bottom of that shaft there. And click OK. Now, it's on one side but not the other, and this is where we have to make sure we get the same spots when we put this on, because we want it to hit on that shaft there. So we're going to get this part right there for this constraint. So it's an insert again. We want to make sure we get the exact same thing we did the other side, so that most outer bit and then this ring right there. Get that popping sound, or you can see it pops into place. It's good. If it's not popping into place, you probably hit the wrong things. Now we're going to place the handle and the pivot here. So we need to put the pivot into the handle first, and then we'll apply it onto our button maker. So we're going to constrain. This is an insert just like the others. Make sure that it's aligned the right way. Now that's a little bit off there, so that means that this is going to slide a little bit. We need an offset, so let's try about a 0.25 here. That's a bit much, so let's change that down to a 0.05, almost there. Let's go with try a 0.1, and that looks pretty good right there with that. So we'll go ahead and apply that. Now the next one we're going to do, we're going to try here a slightly different type. We're going to use the joint instead and set this to rotational, and then we're going to come and pick on the pin that we just put in there, and when we have that middle face there, we're going to come and bring it onto this hole right here. Now it's just lining up the pin, don't worry about that. The handle will come along. So again, look at that pin, And it's a little bit off. It's not exactly what we want. So let's add in the gap here, about 0.5. It's the wrong direction, so let's try a negative 0.5. A little bit too much, so negative 0.25. That looks pretty good and centered right there. And then we're going to go ahead and click OK, and that brings the handle in place there. Now, the only problem we have is this is reversed. At this point in time, I'm not going to worry a whole lot about that if you have it facing one way or the other for our purposes on this. All right, so you make sure you save that as the full size button maker. Full button maker. And that will finish you off on this assignment.